The Rams began and ended the 1975 season against the Dallas Cowboys. The opener in Dallas was a montage of jarring collision and rattling impact. In the end, the surprisingly strong Cowboys took victory, 18-7. 15 weeks later, Rams fans sat in saddened silence as Dallas once again charged to victory. This time at stake was the NFC Championship, and for the Rams, who had met the Cowboys on their two hottest days of the year, there would be no celebration. Despite the season's premature ending, both the Los Angeles players and their great fans enjoyed the fruits of a sensational year. Shaking off the effects of their opening day loss, the Rams stormed the city by the bay and shivered and shocked the 49ers offense. With help from players like number 32 Cullen Bryant, Los Angeles bonsai'd the end zone for 23 points while holding San Francisco to 14. The winning had begun, and no one contributed more than the special teams and Tom Dempsey, whose 3 field goals included a club record-tying 51-yarder. But the most inspirational play of the day was Bill Simpson's block punt, which number 28 Monty Jackson turned into a key Rams touchdown. It was symbolic of the hell-bent-for-leather heads-up play of special team members, like punter Dwayne Carroll, who kicking coach Ed Alsman watched improve as the season progressed. The bomb squad was a hurtling band of movers and shakers. Men like Mike Fanning, Rick Kay, Jim Youngblood, Al Cowlings, Steve Priest, Willie McGee, Bob DeMarco, and Dennis Hara were all dedicated to making the hat trick in the West a reality. Sunshine and gentle breezes welcomed the Rams to their home opener. The California lifestyle, relaxed and at times a bit unconventional, made game day a spectacle. In town were the Baltimore Colts, the second of 3 playoff teams on the Los Angeles schedule. The blue and gold defense, which would finish the season as the second best in the NFC, was mean and miserly. On offense, Lawrence McCutcheon streaked across the sun-drenched field for 2 touchdowns and a 24-13 Los Angeles victory. Throughout the year, McCutcheon attacked like a horseman galloping on an all-out cavalry charge. McCutcheon's 911 yards rushing fell just short of a 3rd consecutive 1,000-yard season and helped keep the Rams' hat trick in the West always within reach. In San Diego in Week 4, the Chargers were fired up and breathing steam. For most of the game, the Ram offense was stymied, but they finally put one payoff drive together. Quarterback James Harris' score tied the game at 10 at the end of regulation time. In sudden death, Tom Dempsey watched anxiously as tight end Bob Klein rumbled downfield like a one-man barroom brawl. And then victory boomed off Dempsey's right leg, and the Rams' record stood at 3-1. The win was costly, however. Cornerback Al Clark was lost for the season. Eventually, 5 other regulars, Bob Klein, Jim Bertelsen, Larry Brooks, Charlie Stukes, and Bill Nelson, would also be lost. Nevertheless, against the Falcons, the spirit of the Rams took flight as the offense sauntered in for 22 points to Atlanta 7. Falcon quarterback Steve Bartkowski spent a day in Hard Times, USA, as a thundering rush and swarming secondary stole everything but his knee pads. The secondary was led throughout the season by Canny Dave Elmendorf, number 42, a strong safety with a penchant for contact. The deep defense was double danger because Elmendorf's running mate, Bill Simpson, number 48, in only his second season, led the team with 6 interceptions, each of which made defensive backfield coach Jim Wagstaff's life a little sunnier. At left corner, Eddie McMillan made life a little rougher for would-be sweepers. While at right cornerback, first-year man Monty Jackson epitomized the talent and spirit of the young players who were called to fill in for injured veterans. In the season's 6th week, the New Orleans Saints were in Los Angeles and found themselves on the downside of a 38-14 score. The Los Angeles defense swarmed like honeybees and stung like scorpions. Against New Orleans, the Rams defense aggressively sought out the ball. This alert aggressiveness was a trait that brought a 3rd straight division title ever closer throughout the year. In most cases when they couldn't have the ball, the defensive blasters had satisfaction instead. On defense, no one enjoyed detonating people more than Coach Tom Catlin's linebackers. Number 36, Ken Getty's credo was hard and clean and ultra mean. Jack Hacksaw Reynolds' boyish grin belied the futility of going up the middle against number 64. For number 58, outside linebacker Isaiah Robertson, the high point of the season came in Philadelphia on a Monday night in Week 7. Robertson's interception and touchdown run covered 76 yards, and whatever signals defensive coordinator Ray Malavasi was calling that night, they were just right when number 90, Larry Brooks, forced Roman Gabriel to unload in panic, and number 89, Fred Dreyer, picked it off. Then the dam broke as James Harris connected with Jack Snow to put the game out of the Eagles' reach. Harris put the master strokes on a perfectly executed victory by hitting Harold Jackson for 2 touchdowns. The final score of 42-3 gave the win-streaking Rams a 6-1 record, and for the 3rd year in a row, it looked like the division crown was going to fit. Back home in Los Angeles in Week 8, the Rams ran into problems. Despite John Cappelletti's touchdown burst, the 49ers eked out a last-minute 24-23 win. It was the Rams' first loss to San Francisco in their last 11 meetings. The defeat was doubly jarring because injury was added to insult. Out for the season was number 90, defensive tackle Larry Brooks, who had been having one of his best years. The loss of Brooks was severe, but replacing him was a young dynamo of destruction named Cody Jones, number 76. In only his second year, Jones seems destined to be a high flyer. On the front wall, Jones had expert tutoring from Jack Youngblood, number 85. Winner of numerous awards and loved by the fans, the All-Pro was the Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC. At the other end position was Fred Dryer, one of the most popular players off the field, but one of the most unpopular for opposing offenses. Immovable in the middle was Merlin Olsen, number 74, everybody's all-time, all-everything. In his 14th season, he shone with the brilliance of a Pacific sunset. In Atlanta in Week 9, the defense allowed only 7 points, but the man of the hour was number 81, wide receiver Ron Jesse, whose 10 catches riddled the Falcons for 16 points and win number 7. Throughout the year, Ron Jesse burned people with his searing speed and pleased receiver coach Lehman Bennett with his soft hands and fluid grace. While Jesse was streaking free, offensive line coach Ray Prohaska's men were hammering away in the trench with fierce protectiveness. At center of the veteran line was Rich Saul. At the guards, 15-year vet Joe Schiavelli, 10-year veteran Tom Mack. At the tackles, 15-year vet Charlie Cowan and 8-year vet John Williams. In Week 10, when the Chicago Bears came marching into the Coliseum, they found the protectors at their best. Even after a time lapse of 5 seconds, the passing pocket remained intact. With that much time to launch, the missiles are always deadly. Lawrence McCutcheon and John Capoletti sliced through corridors of man-made daylight to seal a 38-10 win, which left offensive coordinator Ken Meyer feeling proud. It rained in Detroit's indoor stadium, the only thing scout Jack Faulkner hadn't foreseen. But while the roof leaked, the Rams' defense didn't, because victory meant a division title. It was that kind of a game. And even the Los Angeles offense meted out a barrage of physical punishment. Especially pleasing to running back coach Elijah Pitts was Jim Bertelson's all-around performance. Number 45 was the epitome of the complete ball player as he gouged out tough yardage on the ground and came right back as a receiver. The irrepressible Bertelson also contributed to the excellence of the special teams. As if all this weren't enough, on this play, his alert blocking disrupted the safety blitz, helped put Harold Jackson in the end zone. Jackson's second score assured a 20-0 victory, brought the Rams' record to 9-2, but above all, helped clinch a third division title in a row. The hat trick was theirs. didn't rain indoors, but the tenacious Saints kept things interesting until this unusual play took place. The bounding ball was finally picked up by number 57, Jim Peterson. Urged along by number 49, Rod Perry, who delivered a cataclysmic crackback block, Peterson lumbered 67 yards to give the Rams a narrow 14-7 win. Rob Scribner replaced an ailing Jim Bertelsen in a 22-5 victory over the Packers in Week 13. Scribner's gutty play was matched by come-through performances by youngsters Ron Jaworski, Doug France, and Rod Phillips, all of whom started for injured regulars when the fireworks and the world champion Pittsburgh Steelers hit town in the season's last week. Terry Bradshaw discovered how Pittsburgh opponents usually feel as the Rams' defensive line sacked quarterbacks all night long. Only Franco Harris proved effective, but when he got his team in close, the Rams shut them down. The game was tense and hard-fought right to the end when, with the score tied at 3, the Rams engineered a picture-perfect 12-play drive. While Coach Knox and Ron Jaworski, the Polish Rifle, decided on one crucial play, the world's greatest fans, 84,000 strong, expected something unusual, and they got it. With a 10-3 victory over the world champion Steelers, a 12-2 season, and a third division title behind them, the Rams were now confident that in the playoffs, the Cardinals would be in trouble.
Is there any question? Is there any question on who's going to win? Would I be dressed like this if there was a doubt in my mind as to who was going to win?
From the outset, Los Angeles domination was apparent. Lawrence McCutcheon was in fluid drive all afternoon, flowing to his greatest day as a pro, 202 yards on 37 carries. Capping a perfect opening drive, the Polish Rifle became the Polish Jeep, and the Rams led 7-0. By far the best was yet to come, and this is the way I called it for KMPC Radio.
Second down and 8. Back to throw is Hart. He's got 5 in the pattern. He throws. Intercepted by Youngblood. 45-40, 35-30. Jack Youngblood. 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown! He's going to throw. He looks. He throws over the middle. Intercepted by Simpson. 35-40. Bill Simpson. 45-50. Has blocked. 45-40 down the sideline. 25-30, 25-20, 15-10, 5. Touchdown! Bill Simpson!
Hey, 4-2! Hey, maybe Matty will let somebody on that secondary make our own draft.
Come here!
Come on! Come on!
Get
Come on, boy!
Get out here! Get out here! Fan that thing around here. The best in the league. Right here. Right here.
Yeah.
And there's only about 10 years experience between all of us.
That's right. I got half of those.
And he's got half of that.
Before they knew what hit them, the Cardinals trailed 21-0. But for the Rams defense, there would be no forgiving. The hunted wore white. The hunters were everywhere. When the defense was finished exploding hand grenades, the offense brought on the bomb.
Ron Jaworski, the starting quarterback for the Rams today, as McCutcheon and Bryant split behind him. Jesse left, Jackson right. Jaworski, a play-action fake to McCutcheon. He's going to throw long, and Jackson is open. He's got him at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Harold Jackson on the bomb.
I've seen that thing come out. It's all over.
When it goes, oh, that's the way to grab that baby.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Ron,
I knew it was
when I
over.
saw that sucker come up, I said, it's all over. Hey, it was over.
Man, that's all.
But unfortunately for the Cardinals, that wasn't all. A Ron Jaworski pass to tight end Terry Nelson had the Rams knocking again. And when you're hot, you're hot.
Jaworski under center spins. He gives it to McCutcheon. He's up the middle at the 10. He's at the 5. He's hit hard. The ball loose. Fumble. Yes, he's got it. He's in the end zone for a touchdown. Rams 35, Cardinals 23. Oh, my.
Way to go, Ronnie J.
For the last 3 seasons, the Rams have proved to be the best in the NFC West. In 1975, they did it with a great offense and a defense that gave up the second lowest amount of points ever in a 14-game schedule. And they did it with a coach whose record equals the best in the NFL, 34 wins, 8 losses over the last 3 years. In 1975, the Rams counted on many players, young, old, starters, and replacements. The individual improvements and accomplishments were many. But when the 1975 season is remembered, it will be remembered for something the Los Angeles Rams accomplished as a team. '75 will stand as a symbol of a consistent winning attitude. The year the Los Angeles Rams completed the hat trick in the West.